Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for the ACT. We have been doing ACT math problems out of this book here, the official ACT prep guide. If you do not own this book already, purchase it immediately. You're going to need it. The problems that we're about to solve are the ones that you will find on page number 178. Please turn to it. Page number 178, and today is our lesson number 20. The very first problem on the page, problem number 57. We are being asked which of the following is the graph of 57. Which is the graph of this equation? Y is equal to 2x squared plus x over x. It looks a little bit more complicated than it really is. It's actually a very straightforward problem. What we have to understand is that the top part that is given to us, 2x squared plus x. Do you see any common factor here? Do you see any common factor between this term right here, the first term, and the second term? Of course, the common factor is the x. We can take out the x common. If we take out the x common, what are we left with from 2x squared? If we have 2x squared, and if we take out the x common, what we're left with is just 2x. What we just left with 2x, because 2x times x is 2x squared. Similarly, once we take out the x common, what we're left here is 1 from the x. What we're left with here is 1, because x times 1 is going to give us our x back, and x times 2x is going to give us our 2x squared back. So this is simply x times 2x plus 1. The top part is simply x times 2x plus 1. In the bottom we have x. We can divide top and bottom by x, and the x drops out. So it turns out that the original equation that they had given us is a little misleading. It's a simple linear equation. It's simply y is equal to 2x plus 1. Y is equal to 2x plus 1, which means it's a simple linear equation, which means the graph of this equation, whatever it is, it's got to be a straight line. It cannot be anything else, which means we can cross out. We have A, B, C. Is that how it is? A, B, C, D, and E, and both D and E do not show a straight line. They show parabolas. Those are not the right answer. The answer is either A, B, or C. Let's see what else we can do here. The second thing we have to realize is that the y-intercept of this thing, is positive 1. The y-intercept is equal to positive 1. In other words, the line cuts the y-axis at 1. Among the three remaining answer choices, if we look at it, in A, we're shown a line that cuts y-axis at 1. There you go. In B is wrong because it cuts the y-axis. In B, the y-intercept that is shown is 0. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for y-intercept of 1. And in C, the y-intercept is more than 1. It's between 2 and 3. It's not 1. I don't know what they're showing in C. I think they're showing 2. C. In C, the y-intercept is equal to 2. That's not it. We're looking for a y-intercept of 1. That's answer choice A. That's all. Keep it simple. Do you understand? Keep it simple. Let's just look for the intercept. Ask yourself, where does the line cut the x and the y-axis? That's usually the easiest, simplest route to figure out, to narrow down the correct graph among the 5 that they give us. Okay, very good. So the first thing we did is we realized that we're looking at a linear equation here. It cannot be D or E because those are parabolas. Among the 3 answer choices, all we have to do is find the one that shows the correct y-intercept, which is positive 1, and that's A. Let's go on then. Next one, 58. Number 58. Just give me 1 second. Number 58. In number 58, we are told that we have a triangle ABC. We have a triangle ABC, which we are told is reflected across x-axis. Make sure you pay attention to it. X-axis, not y. It's going to be reflected across x-axis, not y. The question simply is, what are the coordinates? The coordinates we are told, coordinates of point A, we are told are C and D. The question is, what's going to be the coordinate? What are going to be the coordinates of point A prime? Point A prime. What are going to be the coordinates? This is how we read it. This is read as A prime. That's how we read it. A prime. This is how it's read. So let's find out, shall we? We've been taking too long. First, let's draw the triangle ABC. Let's first draw the triangle ABC. It says triangle ABC is reflected across x-axis to have the image of triangle A prime, B prime, and C prime in the standard xy coordinate plane. Thus, A reflects to A prime. A prime is the image of A. Think of this as a mirror. And B prime is the image of point B, and C prime is the image of point C, and so forth. Question simply is, the coordinates of point A are C and D. In that case, what are going to be the coordinates of point A prime? Well, let's draw our triangle. We're just going to draw a triangle here. Here's our triangle. Let's call it A, B, and C. And when we pick it up, and we reflect it, when we pick it up and reflect it along the mirror, this is what we get. We're going to get A prime, B prime, sorry, this is going to be C prime, this is going to be C prime, and this is going to be B prime. The coordinates of point A are C and D. Okay, listen carefully. Coordinates of point A are C and D. C represents the distance from x-axis to here. That distance is the same here. I did not do a very good job plotting it because this distance is much longer than that distance. That was a pretty banged up job. So the x-coordinate, if this is C, this is going to be negative C. But the y-coordinate, the y distance is the same. The y distance is the same for both point A and point A prime. This is point A prime. This is point A prime. So y distance is the same. So it looks like A prime has the coordinates of negative C and a D. Now if this is what you did here, that means you were not paying attention. This means that you were not paying attention despite the fact that we pointed out that make sure you do not reflect the thing, make sure you don't reflect the bloody thing across y-axis. This is y-axis. You have to keep in mind, this is y-axis. And what we have shown here is the mirror image of this triangle, A prime, B prime, C prime. What we have shown is the mirror image of this triangle across the y-axis. We picked it up, and we show the mirror image across the y-axis. This is wrong. This is the mirror across the y-axis. That's not what they're asking for. They're looking for the mirror image of this triangle across x-axis. Across the x-axis. So what we have to do is pick up the triangle and flip it like that. So let's do that. This was wrong. This was wrong. I wanted to see if you were paying attention. This is not correct. So here is going to be the mirror image. So if this is point A, this is going to be point A prime. If this is point B, this is going to be point B prime. This is point C, this is going to be C prime. But we're not interested in B prime and C prime. We're just interested in A prime. What are going to be the coordinates of A prime? Well, this distance that you see here from to here, the x coordinate of point A, which is C, that distance is going to be same from here to here. That distance has not changed. This is still the same distance. So the x coordinate of this guy is same. This guy A prime is same as before, which is C. But the y coordinate, whatever the y distance was here, which was D, here it is going to be negative. Here it is going to be negative. Same distance but negative. There you go. So the coordinates that we're looking for, coordinates of point A prime are going to be C, positive C, and a negative D. This was the reflection. This was the reflection across y-axis. That's not what the problem was asking. Problem was asking for x-axis, not y-axis. So this is the wrong answer. The correct answer is positive C and a negative D. It's a very easy mistake to make, which is why I want to make sure that we do it the wrong way also, so that we bring it to our attention. The correct answer is F. The correct answer is F. Let's move on then. So that was number 58. Let's move on to 59. The penultimate problem. The second to the last problem. Just give me one brief second. Number 59. Number 59, as we said, the penultimate problem as we described it. And what does the word penultimate mean? We have learned this thing many a times. We have come across this word many a time. Penultimate is just a fancy way of saying second to the last. We are doing number 59. Problem number 59 is second to the last problem. It is the penultimate problem. I'm trying to see here when we learned this word in our vocabulary lesson on day number 11. Vocabulary, day 11. If you're interested in improving your vocabulary, just type in vocabulary, ACT vocabulary words, ACT vocabulary word, ACT vocabulary words, day number 11, and the video will pop right up where we can learn the word penultimate along with some other useful good words to know for the ACT. You do want to improve your vocabulary if you want to get a decent score in the English portion of the exam. Do you understand? Let's do number 59, the penultimate one. It says x is equal to 2t minus 9. X is equal to 2t minus 9. And y is equal to 5 minus t. And the question is, we have to express y in terms of x. Well, that's pretty straightforward. We have to express y in terms of x. We're just going to first solve this equation x in terms of y. We're going to first solve this equation for t. Once we find the value of t, which is going to be expressed in terms of x, once we find the value of t from the first equation, we're going to put it back in there and that's it. So let's find it. X equals to 2t minus 9. X is equal to 2t minus 9. We want to solve for t, so let's add 9 to both sides. This 9 is going to cancel out and we end up with 2t equals x plus 9. X plus 9. And therefore t is going to be x plus 9 over 2. X plus 9 over 2. So we'll put this value in there. Let's do that. So y is equal to 5 minus t, which we know is this part, x plus 9 over 2. X plus 9 over 2, and we just have to simplify it, that's all. We just have to simplify it and that's it. So find the common denominator. If you want to find the common denominator, this 5 can be written as 10 over 2. So now we have the common denominator, and y simply, on the bottom we have 2 here, and we have 10 minus, this is the part you have to be careful, minus x plus 9. Make sure you pay attention there. This minus belongs to the entire thing here that we see here. This minus belongs to this entire thing. So y is equal to 10 minus x, and minus times negative times the positive is going to be negative 9 over 2, which boils down to 1 minus x over 2. I do not know if they left it like this or if they made it a little bit fancy. This is it. 1 minus x over 2. That's the very first answer. Answer is A. That's the very first answer choice that they give us. Answer is A. Let's do the very last one, okay? Number 60. Very last one. In number 60, we are asked, it says, what is the sign of pi over 12? And they go on to tell us that pi over 12 equals, so they're asking us for the sign of pi over 12, but they go on to tell us that pi over 12 equals, pi over 12, this quantity equals pi minus 3, pi over 3 minus pi over 4. And we have to find the value of this this quantity. Let's find out. The formula that we're going to have to use here, the formula that we're going to have to use there, which actually they are very nice enough actually to give us this formula, so you don't even have to memorize it. They give us the formula that we need here is the one that takes the form of alpha minus beta. Alpha will be the pi over 3 and the beta will be the pi over 4. And the formula is this. They give it to us, which is sine of alpha minus b equals sine of alpha times the cosine of beta minus cosine of alpha times the sine of beta. That's it. It's right there. And all the values are given to us for the different angles in the picture that you see at the bottom. We simply have to plug in the appropriate value and that's all. Let's find it. So sine of alpha pi over 3 minus pi over 4 is going to be same as sine of alpha, which is pi over 3, times cosine of beta times cosine of beta, which is pi over 4. Our alpha is pi over 3 and our beta is pi over 4. Minus cosine of alpha, which is cosine of pi over 3, times sine of beta, which is pi over 4. So that's it. It's this quantity minus this quantity. Let's get going, shall we? Now I'm going to erase this formula. We're done with the formula. I'm going to erase the formula and reproduce the values that are given to us so that we can plug them in here and get it done. The values that are given to us, they look something like this. We're given the values for pi over 6. We're given the values of pi over 4. We're given the values of pi over 3. Sine of theta, cosine of theta, 1/2 root 3 over 2. Actually, I don't know why we're worried about pi over 6. We don't need pi over 6. Root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, root 3 over 2, and 1/2. Of course, this part, pi over 4, is going to be root 2 over 2 for both sine and cosine, because pi over 4 is 45 degrees. Pi in the radian equals 180 degrees. 1/4 of 180 degrees, half of 180 degrees is 90, and half of 90 is 45. So this is 45 degrees. This quantity is equal to 45 degrees. And of course, the 45 degrees is an isosceles triangle, and therefore the sine and cosine are going to be the same. That's it. Let's do it here. Enough of the talk. So sine of pi over 3. Pi over 3 is right here. Sine is root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2 times cosine of pi over 4. Pi over 4 is right here, which is root 2 over 2. Root 2 over 2. So that part is done. Minus this part, cosine of root 3, or cosine of pi over 3. Pi over 3 is right here, and the cosine is half. Times sine of pi over 4. Pi over 4 again is root 2 over 2. That's it, we're almost done. We just have to simplify this part and that's it. Where can we do it? We can continue here if you like. So this is going to be root 3 times root 2, which is root 6 over 4, minus, again 2 times 2 is 4, and on the top you'll have root 2. Root 2 over 4. That's it. They have the same denominator. Both of these quantities have the same denominator. So it is simply root 6 minus root 2 over 4. And I think we can just leave it here. There's not much we can do anything with it. Let's see if there is any answer choice that matches with what we have. Root 6 minus root 2 over 4. That's answer choice K. There is answer choice K. That was it. That was the end of the first exam. The book contains 5 exams. As you can see, there are 20 videos. It took us 20 videos, 20 days, 20 lessons to finish one exam. Originally, when I started out this project, I was planning on going through all 5 of the exam. I was planning to make 100 videos, 20 videos per exam to cover all the questions. I'm not sure if I'm going to start exam number 2 right away. I might take a little bit break for a little while. We'll see. Okay. But anyway, the exam number 1 is done. Okay. Hopefully I will see you in exam number 2. Okay. Bye now.